Orange juice for you.
Welcome, Nerd Nation, to this edition of the Sports Nerd Show. We are nerds whose mission is to bring you as much sports talk as time allows over the next 60 minutes. Although we will strive to be highly informative and equally as entertaining over the next hour, we must warn you that there may be some cuss words along the way. But we don't give a damn because that is the way most humans in the real world tend to talk, and we, the sports nerds, are no exception. So without further ado, Nerd Nation, relax and enjoy the ride as I present to you the founder and host of this crazy-ass show, Scott Right.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Nerds. I am your humble host, Scott the Sports Nerd Wright, along with my co-host this evening, Ken Hotspot Coslow, Big Elliot, Big E, the producer Lambo, and of course, Wayne, the Professor Lynch. We will discuss the week that was in the sports world. We've got a lot of games to cover, other crap going on. I know Ken and I specifically want to talk about a certain game that occurred yesterday, but we'll get into that a little bit later. I know Wayne and Elliot don't give a damn, but that's okay. Ken and I do, and we're going to talk about it. That being said,
Oncle Tremont, Frere. I'm a bit of a Michigan fan.
A bit. Oh, yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
GFY, Wayne. I'm just going to say that right now. Anyway.
Yeah, I guess I could root for Michigan over Ohio State for sure.
thank you.
Story
I mean,
of my
what's there
life.
like in Ohio?
Story of my life. Anyway. There it is. Okay. Making sure it's there. Okay. Making sure our video was on Twitter. And it is. Okay. Anyway. Come on now. Hang in there, Elliot. You'll make it. You'll make it. Let's see. I got to do this. What the hell? Why can't I share? I don't know. I hate when I can't share. Anyway, let's go back to this. There we go. Now I can share. Right. Yeah. No. Well, shoot. Anyway, we're here. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Twitter. We're live on YouTube and Twitch. And gentlemen, I hope you all had a great holiday, good food, good family, good stuff, good football. Unfortunately, in my family, there is no football on Thanksgiving because nobody cares about football except me. So there you go. So I did not get to watch any of the games on Thursday. I tried to catch. I tried to catch some plays here and there on my phone, but for the most part, it was blacked out because the family doesn't care about football. As far as Friday is concerned, same situation. They're not watching football.
Well, that sounds totally fucking un-American to me.
Yeah.
Well, what are you going to do, Elliot? And no offense to our viewers, they're Trump voters. I'm just going to say, okay? So, you know.
Right. They live in the sticks and don't know shit. I get
correct. It. Anyway, so. But regardless, we can go over the games. I know you guys saw them all. I did not, but I do understand that there were some good games on Thursday. Let's go back to get into NFL.
Oh, there was. Actually, the best game was the one where the coach got fired.
Yeah, Detroit.
The Chicago game.
Detroit and Chicago.
Waiting for his press conference, because after that happened, all I did was sit there and wait for the press conference.
Mm-hmm.
Just to hear how he was going to explain how he got out of that mess, how he got himself into that mess. And the motherfucker kept saying, "Oh, we did the right thing. That play was the right call in that situation." Blah blah blah.
I can't believe he doubled down.
Hey, take that.
Now, he had one timeout in his pocket.
Yeah, take that timeout, put it in your pocket, and walk your ass down to the unemployment line. Okay.
Save it for next week.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Caleb Williams got sacked with 36 seconds left in the game.
He should have called a timeout right there.
Exactly.
They didn't get a snap off until 6 seconds, 30 seconds later. With a timeout in their pocket. They could have just called timeout when he got sacked, then set up a play to at least get a few more yards to get in closer.
To get out of bounds.
And then spike the ball and kick the freaking field goal. Send it in overtime. But no.
I mean, come on, guys. That's coaching 101. That's elementary
Yes.
stuff.
That's why I tweeted. That's why I tweeted. That's a hell of an epitaph to put on your coaching.
Well, he showed bad clock management before during the season, hadn't he?
He had all season
absolutely.
long.
Almost as bad as Mike McCarthy. Well, actually, a little bit.
No, he makes Mike McCarthy look like Father Time.
The problem wasn't even Thursday, in my opinion. The problem was Friday. They fired him after the press conference because he had the audacity to double down on what he said Thursday after the game.
Yeah. It was only a matter of time after that.
He stood behind. They did everything right in that particular moment and situation.
Well, and now they're going to promote the offensive coordinator who's been working with Caleb all this time, and Caleb's been very successful under this OC. So now the interim head coach is going to be the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, but wait a second. What happens? This to me is a parallel to the Jets situation. Okay, they moved their coordinator over to the head coach's spot.
Yep.
And whatever side of the ball that coordinator is running suffers because he doesn't have the time to put all of his thoughts into the defense.
Right.
He has to split his attention because he has a team to freaking run.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's why the Jets, ever since Saleh got fired, that's why the Jets defense is down in the dumps. Because Ulbrich can no longer run the defense while somebody else does the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and that's the same thing that could happen here too. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You put this guy Gordon over as the head coach. Well, how much time will he really have to spend with Caleb now and the offense when he has
not much?
Got a little bit over a week.
That's what I'm saying. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully the guy does well and they make him permanent or whatever. But I don't know. That was a scary situation. I thought that after the conference, if they didn't fire him, that the NFL should remove the Chicago Bears from the league.
Well, they should have left him on the tarmac airport on their way out of town.
They should have bought him out, moved him to Canada, and we'll bring down the Argonauts or something.
Like soccer in Europe, regular.
I think XFL might have a team.
Relegate in the CFL.
Let's move that Chicago XFL team into the NFL.
So Detroit goes to 11-1.
Yep.
And let's not sleep on the fact that Detroit's getting kind of lucky these days too.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
They could have easily given that game away.
Like Kansas City got lucky again.
Yep.
And the controversial call or no call at the end factored into their victory.
Mm-hmm.
First, you call a legal procedure, and then you change it to a legal shift. That way, it gave Kansas City the ball. That was bullshit. That was bullshit.
If it was a legal procedure,
it should have been
a legal procedure. The snap would have counted. The snap would have counted.
Exactly. It
They're both good ball fouls.
10-second runoff.
When they changed it to a legal shift, that totally changed the dynamic of everything.
Yep.
And again, it's just they're not even hiding it anymore.
No.
They're just doing it right out in plain sight, yo. Showing us how badly they want the freaking Chiefs to win. Because the last 2 weeks they've played like shit against two of the worst teams in this league.
Yeah. Well, Kansas City isn't getting any style points for their wins because they're winning by the skin of their teeth. And
but you know what happens when you win too much at the table in Vegas, right? Eventually, your luck runs out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where they're headed, I think. One of these games is not going to go their way. There's nothing officials going to be able to do about it, and they'll be gone.
I just want it to happen in the playoffs now. I want them to get crushed in the playoffs.
The only thing that upset me is that they fired Eberflus and the Yankees still have fucking Aaron Boone. That just pissed me off.
I knew that was coming with the Yankees Santa hat tonight. Oh God. Kenny, what did you think about Dallas beating the Giants? I mean, was it luck or was it? I mean, they didn't beat them by
It was
much.
the Giants.
They finally found the script. I mean, it's just
It's the fucking
you have
Giants.
to it's the Giants. Yeah, you can't
It's their
get real
first win at
excited
home
about
this
it
season
because
too. It's their first win at home this season.
They don't
win at
even call
home.
them the Giants now anymore. They call them the Little Giants
Little
Yeah.
Giants. Okay.
the Nats.
because they fucking suck.
I
don't care
learned
what
one thing about I learned one thing about that game Thursday night. Drew Lock sucks. He is hot garbage. I've never seen someone to stand in the pocket. I'm looking at the TV going, oh, dude is open. Dude is open. Dude is open. He's just standing there in the pocket waiting for Michael Parsons
But isn't that what Giants
to just knock him out?
Mhm.
isn't that what Giants quarterbacks do on the regular?
Pretty much.
Well, yeah, you do.
The thing is, when he was doing that, all of a sudden he would take off and he ran for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, that game could have been a complete blowout and should have been.
Yep.
But the defense let it walk.
Well, the defense for Dallas hasn't been playing well either, Ken.
Well, I mean, other than getting after him, but we had their receivers locked down and we controlled what little running game they had.
Yeah.
Other than him, I mean, we played a pretty good game, but you got to remember it's the Giants, so I can't get real excited about it. But it was a win. It was fugly, but we'll win. Take it.
And there's 3 things for sure in this world. Okay, you're gonna live, you're gonna die, and the Dolphins always lose in temperatures under 40 degrees.
Oh
yeah. They used to say that about the Buccaneers until they beat Philly in Philly for the NFC Championship game.
Dude, they look terrible in that freaking cold weather. They just can't do it.
I don't know. Somebody
Tua
said that.
looks cold all the time.
Yeah.
He looks cold all the time. If the temperature drops below 40, he looks like he's dying.
I think one of the announcers said that that the cold weather exposes Tua's weak ass arm.
Yeah. Well, somebody before the game said he doesn't mind the cold weather. And I thought,
Because he doesn't have a strong enough arm to throw in that cold weather.
Nope. He never had to play a cold game like that in Alabama, and sure as
besides,
hell
can you
he did
imagine?
in Miami.
He don't even like to take hits in warm weather. Can you imagine? In
No
cold weather?
kidding. I don't blame him. Every time he takes a hit like that, he gets a concussion.
In his case, if a stiff wind came through, he could get a concussion, man.
Better dodge that yard marker.
But Green Bay made a case. You know what I'm saying? They did what they had to do. They beat Frisco the way they had to. They beat this team the way they had to. Now they go play Detroit. In Detroit.
Thursday night.
That's gonna say a lot. Definitely gonna say a lot.
That's a shame that game is on Amazon Prime. I'd like to see that. I would have liked to have seen NBC flex that one. But it's too late now.
And now for the darkest Black Friday game ever played. Kansas City.
Yeah, Green Bay. Yeah.
The Raiders.
Yeah. Or KC and the Raiders, right? Yeah. You're right.
How?
Raiders were playing
in the last 4 weeks, dude, seriously, think about how they won the game in the last 4 weeks. Block field goal. Which, if you go back and look at that field goal, the setup, okay, the offensive line, I swear, seriously, go back and look at it. But I swear that the number 54 on the offensive line intentionally leaned back and laid on the ground. He didn't even try to block nobody. That's when the guy came in to block the fucking kick. Seriously, as soon as the snap was made, he fell straight back. As if he was a freaking plant, like Kansas City's money reaches further than just refs.
This is their deep snapper.
Okay, does this guy have any ties to the KC organization?
I don't know.
Number 54 on the Broncos. He should be investigated for that. That wasn't a block. I don't know what to call it. A lay down. That's what it was. And then they lose to Buffalo. Okay.
Mhm.
Then they barely beat Carolina because
Mhm.
of course it's Carolina.
Well,
And
yeah,
Carolina
they took a Pat Mahomes drive because they left too much time on the clock as usual.
Yep.
and then the Raiders now. You know what I'm saying? Another game that they should have lost. This team should be like 2-10 right now.
Realistically, realistically, obviously they're 11-1, but realistically, they should be at least 7-5, maybe 6-6.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, their
Good going on that.
differential is like minimal for a team that's won that many games.
Yep.
That is
I
way
think the
beyond
point
sufficient.
differential is like 58 in 12 games, or in the games that they won.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Brett's in the house, guys. He says the Chiefs
Yeah.
are a mess that are barely. Even he's saying they're barely getting by. So
They're barely getting by, is right. And
I
eventually,
don't think there will be
you
a
have to pay the
three-peat.
piper. You have to pay the piper.
I do not think there will be a three-peat.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either, because I really do believe that really do believe that either Philly or Detroit can beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think so too.
I'm not all sure Kansas City's going to get out of the AFC.
I wouldn't.
No, they're not going to get out of the AFC. That's
I
what I
wouldn't be
think.
surprised if Buffalo or Baltimore both, either one of them, beat them in the playoffs. Wouldn't that
You're
be
11-1. You're 11-1.
Hey,
and your
hey,
point differential is 54.
I think they play Kansas City week 17. That's going to be a pivotal game to watch as well.
Baltimore and Kansas City?
Because it's in Pittsburgh.
Well, Pittsburgh and Kansas City.
Yeah, Pittsburgh and KC.
Yeah, Kansas City at Pittsburgh. Okay, because that could be a playoff matchup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have to see, because the Steelers play a lot of close games, but they have ways of pulling them out. You know what I'm saying? They find ways, because that's who Tomlin is. You put Tomlin up against Reed, and that's a battle of gargantuan coaches.
The Steelers find ways to win without referee assistance.
Yep. Hey, Jamal, good to see you.
What's up, Jamal?
What up, Jay?
And Kansas
Hey,
City,
Christian.
like I said, they're 11-1 with a 54-point differential, a plus 54. That's not good.
That's nothing. I mean, you're winning your games by about 5 points a game. That's nothing.
Same to you, Jamal. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, Jamal.
No doubt, yo. Happy holidays.
But I think, they got a game against Pittsburgh. I think that's the toughest opponent for them the rest of the way. But when they get into the playoffs, oh, look at that. The Panthers just friggin' scored. The Bucks are down by 2 right now with 30 seconds to play. Oh, anyway.
Grief.
Apparently, that benching helped Bryce Young.
Yes, it helped Bryce Young a lot.
Sounds like it.
Be a quarterback.
Sounds like it.
It scared them straight, is what it did. You know what I'm saying?
Think about it. They almost beat Kansas City, for God's sake. They were playing
You
well.
got a taste of what bench life is like, and he didn't like it. And as soon as he saw a chance to get his starting spot back, he took it, and now he's running with it.
Running with it, yep.
So the Bucks got 30 seconds to score a field goal. Ha! Oh, well. The girlfriend's not going to be happy.
Just be happy you're in the NFC South, because that division can be won by anybody.
Well, you know what? Atlanta lost today. The Saints lost today. And the Bucks lost today. So the only one that gains ground is Carolina. So that division is still up for grabs.
So is they all losing records now?
Close.
Hang on.
Hovering around 500.
Who do they think they are? The NFC West?
Atlanta is 6-6. And they're leading the division.
First place.
And the Ravens about to fall to 8-5.
Yeah, because they're down by 9 points with a minute left.
Yep.
They just blocked the field goal.
Which is why I believe with that
Oh, we're losing Elliott. Look out.
Lamar Jackson should not be considered MVP. He shouldn't even.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I kind of get the gist of what you're saying there, like because we lost you there for a minute or two. But the Ravens just blocked a field goal, but that's not going to help them because they're down 2 scores. Ooh, was that a jump? Did they jump off sides?
Yeah, they jumped offside. Eagles got no
Looks like
shot.
they jumped off sides and it didn't get called.
It did get called.
Oh, it did get called?
Yeah.
Okay, good. He
Spoiler
jumped
alert.
early, way early.
Spoiler alert. Eagles made the second try.
Right.
So then
All right, let's go back to.
I must be ahead of you guys.
There we go. That Matt, he made it. All right.
I'm way ahead of you.
So that means they're down 12. They're down 12 points now. So yeah, I think it's pretty much in the bag.
Oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. What's up to my older brother Tim?
How's it going, Tim?
Tim, how you doing? Yeah, Brett says Mahomes averages about 2 sacks. He's been sacked a lot. 32 sacks this year. That's about 2 sacks per game at this point. And yes, I'm with Brett as well. I like Barkley for MVP.
Mm-hmm. I'll go
Not
on.
Josh, not Mahomes, Saquon Barkley.
I would also give Barkley comeback player of the year too.
Huh?
I'd also give Barkley comeback player of the year.
Yes.
Anybody that leaves the Giants should be comeback player of the year.
I mean, come on. You got to think about where Barkley played last year. He played with the Giants. You can't give him comeback player of the year because the Giants had a shitty offensive line.
Yeah,
At this rate, Danny will get comeback player of the year next year. You get those kind of awards.
I want to go back to what Brett said about Patrick Mahomes getting sacked, averaging 2 sacks a game. It doesn't matter as long as the referees throw penalty flags at the most critical times of the game when there are flags that should be thrown.
Right.
Or in the case of Atlanta, when there should have been a flag thrown when Pitts got mobbed in the end zone.
Yep.
But, like you said, Elliot, they're not even trying to hide it anymore, the referees. They're just making calls.
Not at all.
They're not trying to hide it. They're not trying to hide it. They went from a legal procedure to a legal shift. So Kansas City can get the ball.
They might as well just be wearing Kansas City gear. You know what I'm saying? Those red and white stripes.
Red and white stripes.
In the
red and white stripes.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can get those at Foot Locker.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's annoying watching the Kansas City game, knowing that they're going to get some bullshit call at the end of the game that's going to affect the game, which the outcome will be a win for them.
Come on, Bake. Get the first down. There you go. Anyway, all right. Next we have Indy and New England. Did Anthony Richardson look really good today, guys, or what? I mean, he played a really good game. He had a lot of clutch plays he made. And another
guy that got a taste of bench life.
Right.
And did not like it one bit.
Well, what about the head coach calling for that 2-point conversion at the end of the game? That was a boss ass call, and Richardson just went right through the offensive line and defensive line on that play, and got in to score the 2-point conversion. So congrats. I mean, they haven't played New England. New England's officially been eliminated from the playoffs. But yeah, good job by Richardson. He had a really good game. If you look at the box score,
sometimes that's what it takes. You got to bench a guy to wake him up. Let him know, hey.
Right. I mean, he did have 2 picks.
You're not indispensable.
No. He was 12 of 24 for 109, which isn't a lot. He had 20. He actually rushed it 9 times for 48. But like I said, he did have 2 picks, but he also had 2 touchdown passes. So I mean, it was a total win for him. And you know what? That 2-point conversion that was just great. A great call by the head coach.
That was a fantastic call. But I will say this. Had New England, had Drake May thrown that pass 2 yards deeper into Indianapolis territory, that would have been a 66-yard field goal that he would have nailed it because it was on. It was just short.
Oh, it was 68. No, it was 68.
Had it been 66, he would have nailed it.
Yes, he would have.
Wow.
I know the old saying.
I mean, it was dead center
candies
too,
and
Wayne.
nuts, it'd be Christmas every day, but that would have been perfect.
And the ball was dead center right at the upright.
Yeah, it was
upright.
dead center.
The Bucks are going for a field goal.
For the tie. For the tie.
How many yards is this thing?
51.
51?
Yep.
Oh, that's within range now.
Oh, that's it within range.
Up.
Yeah.
And the kick is
Don't say it, Elliot. Don't say it, Elliot. Shush, Elliot. Be quiet, Elliot. Oh, yes, it's good. Now you can say it, Elliot. Woo, the Bucks come back and tie. We're going to overtime in Carolina, folks.
Okay,
I was afraid I was missing the next game while we're doing this, but they're beating the Pelicans by 32 right now, so I guess I'll pass.
Oh, Jesus.
No.
And
Is this another one of those
Pelicans,
stupid
Elliot.
games?
That's not surprising.
The Pelicans have 30 points with 2 minutes gone in the second half.
Oh, my God.
Well, they weren't that good with Zion Williamson, and I mean, everybody talks about Greg Oden
They're
being a
terrible.
bust in the NBA. As far as I'm concerned, Zion is a bust as well. Not to switch subject from
And
Oden.
Well, you know what?
Oh, God.
So far,
Oh, God.
he's not as big a bust as Greg Oden was. Greg Oden was 21 years old, looked like he was 41 years old. Okay. I mean, and again, speaking from a Buckeye fan, he was on the Buckeye.
How on God's green
Greg Oden was
How on
injury
God's green
prone.
earth?
He was at Ohio State.
Am I muted?
No,
Well, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Oh,
Say
okay.
something. Yeah.
I need an explanation.
Okay.
How in the hell do the Cavaliers lose back-to-back games to the Atlanta
I
Hawks?
have no idea, man. I really don't know. I don't get that either. I mean, it was a home and home, and it just what the hell?
And it wasn't even close either.
No.
Yeah, they got blasted.
They
both
beat them
games.
badly in both games.
Yeah, they got blasted in both games.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're playing the Celtics tonight.
scary,
So
yo.
there you go. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, they're down by 7 right now.
Yeah, of course they are. Next up, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. This was close for a long time. It was a high-scoring game. And that Bengals defense is just terrible, guys. They can't stop anybody. Nobody.
If I bet on this
Joe
game
Burrow- hey,
3
Joe
days
Burrow's gonna
ago,
be the best.
I would have taken the under. Because
Joe
the
Burrow
Steelers,
is gonna be the best NCAA
I did not see this
quarterback
coming.
not to make the playoffs.
I mean, Burrow's a great. I mean, they're wasting the great talent on this offense with the bad defense. So I mean, but you know what? That's a Mike Brown team. So
I mean, they gave up over 400 yards to Russell fucking Wilson.
I know, right?
Who hadn't thrown one of those? Who hadn't thrown one of those since week 3 in 2019?
There you go.
5 years. Over 5 years, Russell Wilson hasn't sniffed a 400-yard game. And Cincinnati gives it up like nothing.
If you give up
Making
44
him look
points
like-
to Pittsburgh, your defense is shitty.
Mm.
Dude, Pittsburgh, we
At
have with
least.
44 points over 3
Correct. Once again,
Because they know their defense.
Mike Tomlin is guaranteed to have another year with a plus
Winning
19
record.
in a row.
record.
Yep.
Mhm.
No,
19 years, right?
Yeah.
Never been under 500.
19 in a row.
19 in a row. Never been under 500.
I mean,
Not another coach around that can say that. I don't think.
he doesn't have the championships. Okay.
You got 2.
Was
I
it
think.
2, 1 or 2?
Mm,
Cowher had 1 and he had
How
1.
about
okay,
8
4.
or 5?
Okay, 1. Yeah, okay, 1. Noel had 4. Cowher had 1. And Tomlin's got
Tomlin's got
And
1.
Tomlinson has one.
Yeah. So 19 years is great.
So the Steelers are what?
What?
What are the
They're
Steelers
9
now?
and 7. They're 9 and 3.
10 and 2. 9 and
9 and 3. Baltimore's 85.
And Baltimore is
Yeah.
85, right? Pittsburgh will win that division.
That's why I predicted they'd be last in the division.
Pittsburgh's going to win that division
They could. They
Yeah,
will
I think they got it wrapped up.
because I still think Baltimore has more games to lose.
Well, Baltimore plays Pittsburgh one more time.
And by that time,
Before the end of the season. So we'll see how that goes.
I think it's the last game.
So the Eagles go into Baltimore and beat the Ravens. That's a good thing because the Ravens lost. I'm happy, excited. That's the one good thing that's gone for me this weekend thus far, well, except for the game on Thursday night or Monday night. Excuse me. Well, no, Thursday night. What? Browns play tomorrow. Okay, as far as last week,
Browns play tomorrow night.
They will not be on ABC.
So yeah, thus far, this is the best thing that's happened to me.
That's what losers usually do. They hang on to their victories.
Hey, you know what? If we could go 2-14.
Hey, this one win will last us about
We
4
have
weeks.
2 wins the entire season. As long as they're both against Pittsburgh, I'm happy. I'm just saying.
One down, one to go.
Right. In fact, they play Pittsburgh next weekend. So in Pittsburgh. Then the last game of the year is against the Ravens.
In Pittsburgh?
In Pittsburgh. Yeah, in Pittsburgh.
What do you think the odds are that it'll snow that night? That day?
Well,
has any two teams ever played 2 snow games?
It'd be kind of cool.
Did anybody really care about Indianapolis? Did anybody really give a shit about Indianapolis and New England?
no. We talked about it a little bit.
No, we covered that 68 yard field goal that came up 2 yards short, but
Correct.
that's about it.
Yeah. Next game up, Chargers, Falcons. Chargers win in Atlanta. Atlanta drops to 6-6, so the Buccaneers won't. The Bucs still have to play overtime, so we'll see how that goes.
Hey, don't sleep on that Chargers defense.
That's right.
No, you don't. No,
right now.
I
No,
agree.
the defense is decent.
Do not
And Kirk Cousins going.
sleep
My bad.
on that defense.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins stepped up and was man enough to say it was his fault they lost.
Yeah.
Well, hell yeah,
My
you
bad.
threw 4 interceptions.
Yeah,
Mea culpa.
exactly, Kirk.
He's remembering who he is.
And as we have become accustomed to, the Jets blow another game at home.
You know what? The Jets are playing good today until they started making mistakes. So yeah, I mean, it's funny because Seattle.
Hey, they played good a few weeks, but it's still nothing but L's.
Yeah.
Do you see who Atlanta plays next week?
No.
Minnesota.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, in Minnesota.
In Minnesota. Welcome home, Kirk.
Who's in Minnesota?
It's in Atlanta. Yeah.
Kirk Cousins going
Cousins
home.
goes to Minnesota next week?
Yeah.
As they say, the Jets were playing good until they weren't.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you imagine they paid all that? Arnold's had a better year.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on. This is one of the games I wanted to talk about. Texans and the Jaguars today. Trevor Lawrence got that was
Did
ugly.
you see that hit?
He got knocked.
That was stupid. That was totally
Yeah, he got ejected as well. Yeah, he got ejected.
Aziz Al-Shahir. With Trevor Lawrence trying to slide, he gets him high, hits him in the head. And if you notice, he had that Tua look with the claw hands.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was a serious blow to the head. I mean, it was really bad.
Yeah.
Then the brawl ensued afterwards. Both benches cleared, and it was just chaos and mayhem, and it was just a mess.
That seems to be the theme of the entire
Yeah,
weekend.
there's been a lot of chaos and mayhem this weekend.
Mm-hmm. A lot of pure
People
six
trying to plant
brawls.
flags and all that bullshit.
And he was John with the fans on his way off the field too. So I mean, it was just, and you know what? His history is, he's done this before. He's been called a dirty player almost his entire career.
Yeah.
But I expect the NFL hopefully will suspend him for that hit because that was uncalled for. and there's no room for it. You know, when a quarterback slides, he's giving himself up, and you need to just avoid him. But yeah, that was
well, all the mayhem and chaos, people planting flags.
I wanted to get into that too, because it wasn't just in Columbus where this was happening. It happened in
North Carolina State.
Yeah, 3 other games then.
North Carolina State.
Yep. You see what fucking Baker Mayfield started?
Oh, it started long before Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
Yeah, but it didn't get this much national attention.
Right. It didn't get much attention since Baker did. Yeah.
Just coming over the news wire, guys. President Biden pardoned his son.
Yeah. I'm
President
sure Trump will be all over that.
Pardon Hunter. So
why not? It's not like
There's
Trump's not going to do the same for his entire crooked family.
correct. Yeah, that's
No
true.
kidding.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I just wish he'd cancel my friggin' student loans. I'm scared to death now. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, that was one of the worst hits I have ever seen. Outside of what's his face for Pittsburgh, I forgot his freaking name.
Vontaze Burfict.
Vontaze Burfict. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Another one of the dirtiest players in the NFL.
It was a perfect hit.
Yeah, it was a perfect hit.
Perfect.
But anyway, thoughts out to Trevor Lawrence. Hope he gets okay. Hope he's okay. It was just, I mean,
it was his first game back too.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah, completely unnecessary.
That sucks.
I just hope that once he comes to, if they ask him, "Do you know your name?" he goes, "Gardner Minshew." No.
That's bad, Ken. That's just
Ken. That was horrible on so many levels, but it was funny as hell.
Funny as hell. Yeah, exactly.
All of a sudden, that other South Division has become an up for grabs type division, because Houston ain't burning no houses down right now.
No. Okay. CJ Stroud is not the CJ Stroud of last year.
Hell, Anthony Richardson is playing better than CJ Stroud this season.
Sophomore Dinks has descended upon him. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because people saw his tape over the offseason. They started to figure his ass out. You know?
Oh, is it gonna be cold in Buffalo tonight?
Oh boy, I'm already shivering just looking at it.
Great to watch.
And of course, the 49ers are wearing their white jerseys, so that'll just make it even easier to see your receivers running down the field.
Well, maybe if they slide in the snow.
If the snow starts coming down, Wayne, Brock Purdy won't know where his receivers are because they'll be running into the snow. Next game up, Arizona, Minnesota. Congrats to Minnesota.
That was actually a really good game.
Sam Darnold led them on a last long drive at the fourth quarter to win that game. Hats off to Darnold. Darnold's having a great year with Minnesota. He really is having a great year. And you know what? Daniel Jones couldn't have gone to a better team.
Yeah, he wanted to go to a contender. He found one.
Yep, and so he's going to learn under Darnold and that coaching staff that brought out the best in Darnold, so he can only get better going there. I don't foresee him being a starter in the NFL anytime soon. So, I mean, Darnold was 21 or 31 for 235 and 2 touchdowns, no picks. Aaron Jones is having a really odd year. He's fumbled. He's not catching passes. He's fumbled like 3 times in the last 3 games, which is uncharacteristic of Aaron Jones. So
I saw him throw a fit earlier today, and I never did figure out. I guess that was after he fumbled and something.
Yeah, it was after he fumbled. Yeah.
Down the red zone.
Fumbles. He actually had 2 fumbles and lost 1, so they got 1 back. But he did fumble twice today, but he got 1 back. Tennessee and Washington. Boy, the Commanders are back, guys. They just put a whooping on them Titans today.
Everybody is.
Jaden Daniels was 25 of 30 for 206. He had 3 touchdown passes today. Brian Robinson ran for 103 yards and a touchdown. Chris Rodriguez had 94 yards and a touchdown. Hell, even Jaden Daniels. You see that juke move he was doing at the end in the end zone. He got a running touchdown as well. I mean, boom. And Will Levis just couldn't get anything going. Yeah, you did have 2 touchdown passes, but it was too much for Tennessee.
I got 3 syllables.
Yeah.
I got 3 syllables. Tennessee.
Yes. Yeah.
I got 2 words.
Those 3 syllables.
I got 2 words for Will Levis. Tim Couch.
Yeah, I mean, put down the mayonnaise, will you please? That commercial is so disgusting. I'm sorry. It's just horrible. That Hellman's commercial he does.
It's stupid. It's stupid.
It is totally stupid. I don't even like Hellman's mayo. I use Duke's mayo. Anyway.
Mayo is mayo.
Rams beat the Saints 21-14.
How you get shut out in the first damn half and then scored 21 points they scored 1 in the third quarter and then the other 14 in the fourth quarter. So
right. So, I mean, that's the story of New Orleans' life. They just can't get anything going.
Remember 300 years ago when New Orleans was a hot shot team the first 2 weeks of the season, running up 92 points?
Yeah. I mean,
anybody remember that?
They went 2-0 to start the season.
I thought that was preseason.
No, that was after week 2, and they beat the crap out of us.
They were 2-0, and all of a sudden now, since then, they're 2-8.
Since then, they're 2-8. Second line's for you now.
All right. So, and of
Yeah,
course,
they've definitely been bad.
Of course, Philly
Although they looked a little bit better under the new coach.
What's that?
After they got rid of Dennis Allen. I said after they got rid of Dennis Allen, they've been looking a little bit better under this new coach that they have.
I remember.
Well, they couldn't look any worse than they did while Dennis Allen was still there.
That's true. That's true.
You want to know how old I am?
Go ahead.
I covered Dennis Allen when he was in high school.
Oh, Jesus.
Yep.
You go aging yourself.
Yep. All right. That covers the NFL. All right. It's Ken's turn and my turn, and we're gonna talk NCAA football. Shout out to.
Excuse me. I gotta go yawn. I'll be back.
Hats off to the Michigan Wolverines, Ken. Congratulations. That's 4 wins in a row against my Buckeyes.
Scott, it's a little too old for you to enlist with that damn haircut.
Wait, I did this myself. I know how bad it looks. Okay, I'm just saying. That's why I wear a hat, because I screwed it up and I just.
That's like one of those Floby jobs.
You're a bit late. You're a bit late to the enlistment thing.
Well, at least I don't have to worry about combing it because there's not a whole lot there. Anyway, Ryan, you know what, Ken? There's no bigger game during the regular season than Michigan. It doesn't matter what they do the rest of the season. Doesn't matter how good they are. Doesn't matter the results. It doesn't matter. But
and Ryan
cannot beat
was
Michigan
3 times before that game, and he said all 3 times, this is the biggest game of the year.
Correct. And if you cannot beat Michigan, you cannot be a head coach for the Buckeyes. If Ryan, I mean, granted, the Buckeyes are still going to the tournament. They're going to be in the tournament. I don't have a problem with that. But
no, they're in. But
Ryan Day and Chip Kelly both were afraid to coach their game against the Wolverines. They kept going to the run, and the Wolverines' defensive line is one of the best in the country. They are known for stopping the running game. You've got 4 of the best wide receivers in the country on your roster.
And our cornerback is not playing. Our All-American cornerback is not playing.
Will Johnson wasn't even there.
Johnson was no show. He's not.
And they're down their star cornerback. Get that kid in the shotgun and just start slinging the ball downfield. Because you know what? That way you win. You can't get the ball to Smith or any other top wide receivers.
because you're trying to run the fucking ball? Get the fuck out of here. Give me a new head coach who knows how to fucking coach.
Well,
Three
if you
years
watch-
ago,
And Chip
3 years
Kelly
ago,
needs
he
to
had-
fucking retire already.
Yeah. Well, if you
3
watch
years
the game,
ago, he
Gus
had
Johnson
Jackson
and
Smith-Njigba, who was the
Yeah.
best wide receiver in the nation.
Yes.
He didn't get the ball to him either.
yeah,
No.
well,
He ran the ball.
Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt repeatedly said yesterday on the broadcast, why don't they spread out the Wolverines and
Mhm.
attack their secondary, intermediate and deep passes? Because even though the front seven for the Wolverines are nice, the secondary without Will Johnson is hot garbage. They
Yeah.
were garbage
Yeah.
with Will Johnson,
Yeah.
and he's an All-American. But without
Right.
him, they were hot garbage, and
Right.
they balled out. They balled out.
You know, I don't know if it was because of the pressure that he couldn't get the ball off to his receivers. But you know what? They knew you couldn't run the ball, and that was the problem because they tried running the ball for 50% of the game.
Even when he was tossing the check downs, they were all falling short.
Yes.
Yeah, falling short behind.
Yeah. Okay.
But
That's where you want it.
Ryan Day should be fired for losing 4 in a row, of course, in that matchup. But somebody needs to say something about the kicker.
Mm.
Yeah, he missed 2 field goals.
Missed two
If he had
field-
made
missed
both
two-
of those, the Buckeyes
two
would have
chip
won.
shot field goals.
Yeah. If you made both of them, the Buckeyes would have won that game.
That's right.
Yeah, but then again, if the quarterback for Michigan hadn't lobbed it right to Jack Sawyer in the end zone,
Mhm.
Michigan would have won 23 to
Handily. Yeah. 20-10.
yeah, 20 to 10.
Will Howard was 19 of he only threw 33 passes. Okay. As far as run, we had all right, so we did throw 33 passes compared to 26 runs. Okay. He only but Howard only had 175 yards. So he was, in 1 touchdown and 2 picks. Both picks were stupid friggin' passes to begin with.
Yeah.
He had no business throwing those balls.
Mm.
The running game, we only had 77 yards on the ground, which is expected against Michigan because of their defensive line. But why are you running it 26 times against that defensive line? You should have had the upwards of 50 passes in the playbook because of that secondary. But no, let's run a balanced attack and see what happens. Chip Kelly, get the fuck out of here.
Well, Michigan annoyed me as well because every time they gave the ball to Mullings, have you ever heard of a outside zone run? Everything was straight up the middle for 1 or 2 yards.
Yeah.
And I was getting annoyed. And why is Orgy even on the team?
I don't
Somebody
know.
tell me why Orgy is on the team.
He wasn't even good last year.
We got the number 1 quarterback recruit coming in next year.
Yeah, I saw that the other day.
He'll get the job by default.
Yeah.
So if he's half as good as Arch Manning, then we're good. But we got nothing right now. And that's the reason. And let's face it. Okay, I was checking out ESPN's college football experts today. Kyle Bonagura doesn't even have Michigan in a bowl game, even at 7-5.
At 75, wow.
7-5, he does not have them in a bowl game now. The other one, Schlabach, has them going against Ole Miss in the Music City Bowl, which I'll take that, I guess. But
no, they need to go to the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Yeah, so Mike Owen Jr. can sit there and spoon mayo out of the jar. All game.
That was disgusting.
I know.
That is disgusting.
You were talking about the Wolverines running game. Mullings had 32 carries for 116 yards. It was effective.
Yeah.
Okay. He averaged 3.6 yards per carry. But I mean, he had a good day. He had a good day. So my
116, not a good day in my book. I'm sorry.
Okay, whatever, Wayne.
It's just not good. 3.6.
It's just coming from the guys who are used to Christian McCaffrey running ramp shot over defense.
Yeah. I'll take it.
The main thing I want to take away from this is what happened after the game. And this happened again across 4 different games across the country yesterday.
At least.
Michigan players trying to plant the flag on the logo. And I like to call it as pulling a Baker. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Ohio State players coming in and a brawl ensued.
Mm-hmm.
Police were macing players because of it.
Pepper spray, totally unnecessary.
Now I understand that Michigan won, but you have to win respectfully. You have to win gracefully.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ken and I are both of the opinion that there were faults on both sides. The reaction from the Buckeye fans and from the instigation of the Wolverine players. Okay.
Yep.
You don't. I mean, you know what? If you win, you win. Show some fucking respect. Show some fucking humility. Okay.
Take that
Act
flag,
like you've been there
curl it
before.
up, and take it to the locker room with you.
It happened at Florida State. It happened at.
You're asking way too much of this
No,
generation.
you're right.
In this generation, that's like a bridge too far.
I mean, it happened at College Station as well with Texas and Texas A&M.
Well, it would have if Sark had got
Sirianni called him back. Sirianni called him back.
Yeah.
But it also happened at NC State, North Carolina as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's come on.
But,
just take it with humility. Just take it with grace.
But the thing is, after the brawl started, what does Ryan Day do? He
Oh,
stands there and just goes,
He's standing there.
what's going on? He didn't try to get out there. I guess he sent his assistant coaches out there.
He's a fucking moron, dude. He looks like he's wearing a fake beard.
It looks like somebody painted it on his face.
Well, no, it looks like he's using what is that product that they use?
Men's whatever.
Eric, no haircut for men. No.
Oh, just for men.
Just for men. Thank you, Wayne. Yeah, just for men. You know that shit you brush into your braid and wash it out when you get in the shower. It's just only good for that much.
I
saw somebody say that he looks like the department store manager that fires a real Santa.
Yes. Especially with the outfit he was wearing. Oh my God. Anyway.
Yeah, well, that brought
Ryan Day. Ryan didn't see the press conference. I think Ken did, but Ryan Day didn't do himself any favors at his after-game press conference.
The only person who had a more pathetic press conference than he did was Eberflus.
Yes,
it was that bad.
He looked. Yeah, I was just getting ready to say he looked like Eberflus up there.
He did.
Yeah, and Carolina and State was not good as well, planting the flag on Carolina's midfield. But the good thing is Mac Brown won't be there any longer.
Yeah, he
got fired on Tuesday.
Well, they're saying he retired or he resigned or whatever.
No, he was planning on coming back. He was fired.
No, he was fired. Yeah, they lit a match in there. They lit a match under him. He's fired.
I think that might have been his last ride too.
Yeah, it is. It's got to be. He's
unless
72.
Unless West Virginia wants to bring him in. West Virginia's fired their coach today.
Yes,
yeah, well, West Virginia fired their coach, but why would they bring him in?
I don't know.
Yeah, so did Purdue.
They how desperate they are.
Too.
Yeah, Purdue didn't win a Big Ten game this year, so
no.
Well, they're a 1-11 for the season, Wayne. They're 1-11.
Yep.
So, one last thing I wanted to bring up, and I just lost my thought. God dang it.
Okay, I've got one.
Go ahead, Ken.
Okay, if you had Arizona State and Iowa State on your Big Ten championship game bingo card, raise your hand. Liar.
Yep. What I wanted to bring up was there have been a lot of memes out there wondering where Belichick is going to coach next. And I responded on the group page today about that, or yesterday about it. Why in the hell would you bring in a 72-year-old coach because
he wants to, and his name is Bill Belichick.
Dude, he's already proven he can't coach without Tom Brady.
Because he wants to, and his name is Bill Belichick.
But he can't coach.
It's kind of like American Express. Don't leave home without it. He's got credentials that carry him.
Right, but you know what? The last 2 years he was in New England.
His credentials makes your words shit.
Oh God.
Okay. As long as his name is Bill Belichick and he chooses to coach, somebody's going to sign him.
and he's going to be there for 2 years, maybe 3 at the most, and be gone.
If he can get them a championship, money well spent.
And depending on where he goes, it doesn't even have to be a championship. It can just be a respectable season in a playoff
Not
run.
just that, but he can build a culture wherever he goes.
He could still come here to Dallas, but unless he
No,
talks to Bill
no, you know
Parcells.
what? You know why he wouldn't work in Dallas? Because Jerry Jones wants to take control of the entire team and have his hands and everything.
That's what I'm saying.
Belichick won't
If he
do
talks
that.
to Bill Parcells, then Parcells will talk him out of it.
He would not be able to coexist with Jerry Jones. Sorry.
No, that's not going to happen.
No.
Jerry's too much
Jerry
of a
Jones
micromanager.
wants yes men. Jerry Jones wants guys that are going to, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Come on. He had Jason Garrett there 5 years longer than what he should have been there.
That's true.
Only because Jason Garrett knew how to say, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pucker up.
I think Belichick either winds up he could wind up with the Raiders with Brady being in the ownership
Part
group.
owner, right?
I'll tell
You know
you.
what
I'll tell you how Jerry Jones handled Jason Garrett. Jerry Jones would pull his string, and Jason Garrett would go.
Yes. Yeah. One more comment on the NFL. George Pickens reminds me so much of Antonio Brown. It's not funny. Kid's a punk. He doesn't have any respect for the game.
I think we talked about this last week.
He's such a freaking hothead. Well, he acted up again today. He got a.
You just mad because he said that a lot of people say in public your team sucks.
Well, no, it's the fact of the matter is, I mean, even today against the Bengals, he caught a big pass for a first down and ran into the end zone and did one of these and got a flag. What are you doing?
And got what?
You got a flag because he made the gun motion.
They're not killing. If you do a gun type thing,
if you do anything,
he's going to get fined for it too.
Yeah,
okay.
Get flagged and fined.
And even his offensive lineman came up to him and say, "Back him against the side of the head."
What
the hell are you doing?
That's the same thing that happened with Drake London on that Monday Night Football game.
Yes, yeah.
He was shooting into the crowd.
I saw it happen several times.
Elements of that. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, he was just saying something that I say that some other people say, and that's that Cleveland sucks.
Well, no, he did it against the Bengals today.
He just said it out loud, like he's not.
I saw another Steelers receiver jump up in the crowd. He didn't do a gun or anything, but he just jumped on the crowd and high-fived some Bengals fans.
You think
I'm thinking like that.
You think the Browns are going to be targeting him next week?
I don't know.
George Pickens?
They might. I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, there's a lot of bad blood there, so we'll see.
Just saying.
An unspoken bounty, maybe.
They've always had that.
I'm sorry,
They've always had that controversial wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? Always.
I got one more comment before we
go ahead,
take
Ken.
off. Did you see the Notre Dame SC game where the Notre Dame player slugged the SC player down on the ground? Literally took a swing at him and hit him in the side of the helmet.
His own player or the other?
No, against the SC. It was an SC player laying on the ground.
No, I
Google it or put it up. See if ESPN puts it on there. He literally came down on top of him and went pow, right up against the side of the helmet.
Nope, missed that.
No.
Before we go, I got a question for you, Scott.
Okay.
Since Ohio State lost yesterday, do they deserve a home game? I think they should be on the road now.
It's going to depend on the committee. It's not up to me. I mean,
well, yeah, obbly the committee, but
they got dropped to number 8 overall in the coaches poll today. They got dropped to 8 in the number 8 in the coaches poll today.
Yeah, they should be on the road.
So, I don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't know.
Mike Tomlin's response to the whole Pickens drawing 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties
in 2 weeks.
He's got to grow up, man. This is an emotional game. These divisional games are big. He got a target on his back because he's young. He understands that, but he's got to grow up.
Well, was he able to
corral? You haven't grown up yet. You don't.
Was he able to corral AB when he was the Steelers? The only reason, you know, I mean, he really didn't have any control over AB either.
AB was already far gone, dude. Remember, his brains were mush at that point. AB couldn't have been anywhere
because of that Burkett hit. Yeah, okay.
his problem is youth, and you know what I'm saying. He basically doesn't know how to handle success without being a thug doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Mike Tomlin didn't, after he said that, I'm surprised he didn't say the standard is the standard.
Usual,
And today that was the standard.
usual company line.
Yeah, Brett brings up the fact that Big Ten fines Michigan and Ohio State $100,000 each for the role in the melee. They did not discipline any players, just universities. Anyway, and then also, this is what Ryan Day said in his press conference. Thank you, Brett, for bringing it up again. I don't know all the details, but I know these guys were looking to put a flag in our field, and we're not going to let that happen. That's all he said.
That's why he was standing there with that stupid ass look on his face as the melee was going on.
You don't want to planting flags on your field. Don't let them win.
Yeah, don't let them win.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, Brett,
Well,
the coaches
it's not
poll
like he's
put
gonna
Ohio
win it
State at
because
number 8.
His artificial turf is not going to go in.
You know what they used to do here? We got ASU, and then you got U of A, which is down here in Tucson. ASU is Phoenix. Okay, each city has a mountain called A Mountain. Okay, and on the A Mountain here in Tucson, there's a big A on the side of the mountain that's red, white, and blue.
For
And up there
Arizona.
they have the gold and the burgundy for Arizona State. Right. So when I first moved out here, what they used to do, they started out with just painting over the A's, and eventually it turned into setting them on fire.
Setting a mountain on fire. Huh?
before the big game, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So I mean, things have evolved over time, and now it's all about planting flags, yo.
Yeah. So I mean, it's terrible. I mean, come on, guys, grow up, have respect, act like you've been there before.
But
You can put the number 1 in the air. But you know, so anyway, then there's another poll. We'll put them at 7. You're right, Brett. But do they deserve a home game? I don't know.
I think they'll probably get one.
I think they will too.
Deserve it or not.
Here's the problem with that, though, and with the damn committee. The problem is they want the big name schools to have the home game to bring in more revenue as opposed to the teams that deserve the home game.
Correct.
And that's
I'm
what
with
I have a problem with.
I agree.
I
totally agree. The NCAA is all about the dollar. They have been for a long time. Even before NIL came into play, the NCAA has been all about the money. So I agree with you. All right, we're gonna go SMU. We're gonna get out of here, guys. Thank you again. I'm glad to be back. I'll be posting this show to Spotify, to the web, to the blockchain. It'll be on our group Facebook page, and on my Twitter feed. So, and if you have any questions or any comments, please put them on those.
Before we go. My brother just said, should IU make it?
Yes.
I agree. IU should be there.
Don't be surprised if Indiana has to go to Notre Dame.
Well, they're ranked above Ohio State now because of Ohio State got 2 losses. So, even though Ohio State put the hammer down on them last week.
You stole my line, Ken. I was just going to say that. Indiana at Notre Dame.
At Notre Dame,
and that'll be a good game, guys. That will be a really good game.
Hey, crush time between Boston and Cleveland. 3 minutes to go. Boston up by 2.
There we go. Go Cavs. Let them know. Anyway, we're out of here. Good show tonight, guys.
We got a couple of calls to return.
Yep. We will be back again next Sunday night at 7 o'clock, recapping week 14 in the NFL and whatever else happens to show up between now and then. On behalf of my co-host, Mr. Ken Hotspot Coslow, Mr. Elliot Big
producer, hell no.
You've earned that name now, Ken. So it's stuck. You know, it's and of course, Wayne, the Professor Lynch. I am your host, Scott, the Sports Nerd. And until next Sunday, we are out. Elliot, play the outro, please.
Thank you once again, Nerd Nation, for spending part, if not all of your evening with us here for this latest episode of the Sports Nerd Show. Please keep in mind that we do this on a regular basis every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday night. And since each night's start time is different, please check out our SNN group page on Facebook for the correct time. So until the next time we come together, Nerd Nation, on behalf of the Sports Nerd and his co-hosts, Ken Costco, John Olson, Wayne Lynch, and me, Big E, may your lives be filled with all the best sports action anyone human can handle, as well as all the joy it could possibly bring you. And with all that said, good night, Nerd Nation, as the time has come to say